one of our traditional rulers was kidnapped in his palace. And he was adopted until now. We don't know his whereabouts. I just want to raise it as a point of.
Senator Karimi approached me this morning to tell me about the sad incidents that took place in one of the communities in
Okoloke in Yaba local, Yaba West local government. I correct. Yaba is YA, not YA. Yaba West local government area of Kogi State, which took place in the early hours of today, Thursday, 15 May 2025. The House also note that the shocking event took place when suspected kidnappers stormed the palace of the referred second-class chief around 12 a.m., shooting sporadically into the air before whisking the traditional ruler away to an unknown location. A situation which has caused unprecedented tension in the communities as fears mount over its safety. It further notes that Okoloke, which is a border town to Kwara State, is a very peaceful settlement that harbors both Hausas and Fulani settlers, and they have been living together in harmony until recently that criminal elements filter into the community to perpetuate this act. Aware that the security agencies are yet to release an official statement on the incident, however, local vigilante groups and concerned residents have begun combing the area in search of clues that will facilitate the release of the monarch. Concerned that this is yet another incident of kidnapping in the country, which, on clear motive, as no demand for ransom has been made yet. As such, urgent steps must be taken by the relevant security agencies to ensure the safe release of the monarch, and also concerned that this recent incident marks another distressing chapter in the rising state of insecurity plaguing parts of Kogi State and other parts of the country, and the need for holistic review of the country's security architecture to name this ugly menace in the board. Accordingly, resolved to urge the federal government to direct all the relevant security agencies in the country to, as a matter of urgency, deploy their security arsenals to secure the immediate release of the monarch from his abductors. And two, commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces for giving directives to the National Security Advisor to establish forest guards across the country to curb the rising state of insecurity in the country, and to draw Mr. President's attention to the Nigeria Forest Security Service Establishment Bill 2025, recently passed by the National Assembly, awaiting presidential assent. This bill can be brought back to accommodate Mr. President's line of thought regarding the setting up of the proposed forest guard at the Abano. Thank you.
The Deputy Senate Leader, you can next.
This incident is very, very distressing, Your Excellency. I can recollect that in the past 4 weeks, this issue of banditry, kidnapping, at least I can mention 4 or 5 in that same proximity that has to deal with the people of my senatorial district. And I would want to point out that in as much as possible that we can call the federal government to do a lot in issues of security, we must remember that in every locality there is local government. And there is security part of local government's responsibility. I will further want to call on each local government around that area to be up to their task. We are now in an era where local governments are almost autonomous. They are enjoying a lot of, by the courtesy of our president, they are enjoying a lot of freedom, a lot of resources. I want to call on each of these local governments to be up to their responsibility. Equally too, we have to call on the state government, the government of Kwara State, the government of Kogi State to rise up to the occasion. This is very disheartening, and a lot of people are suffering from it. I stand to support entirely the resolutions of this motion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Now let's go to the prayer. Prayer one is in the country. As a matter of urgency, deploy their security arsenals to secure the immediate release of the monarch or his abductors. Those in favor of this prayer, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces for giving directives to the National Security Advisor to establish foreign guards across the country to curb the rising spate of insecurity in the country and to draw Mr. President's attention to the Nigerian Foreign Security Service Establishment Bill 2025, recently passed by the National Assembly, awaiting presidential assent. This bill can be brought back to accommodate the President's line of thought regarding the setting up of the proposed forest guard. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayer. Additional prayer. You don't need to elaborate. It's understood. Thank you very much, Senator Karimi Sunday, for bringing forward this motion, because it's certainly sad. We stand by you. We sympathize with your people for the adoption of the traditional ruler of that town. It's something that's an affront to the authorities of this country, that one would have the audacity to move in to adopt a traditional ruler. Is very bad, and I'm sure the government is doing all its best to make sure that those who took this heinous crime will be apprehended and prosecuted, so that it serve deterrent to those who might want to do the same in the future. We hope that he will be discovered and brought back to his palace as soon as possible. Leader of Senate,
want to allow me to come under Order 41 and 51 and to ask Mr. President that we regulate our rules, especially in view of Order 41.4, to accommodate this matter. Mr. President.
Madam Leader, you know, you can only have this once in a day, but being the Madam Leader, is it you've heard about the content of his motion, the synopsis?
Is it, Mr. President? Thank you for your indulgence, and my colleagues, I thank you for giving me this privilege. Mr. President, it is something that we all know about. It's something that is occurring day by day, and we need to bring it to the public domain. It becomes germane. Mr. President, it is about herdsmen attacks on Akpeti and Ojantele communities of our local government area of the Benue South Senatorial District, and asking for an urgent intervention of the Senate. Mr. President, the Senate notes with grave concern the attacks of suspected Fulani herdsmen on two communities of Akpeti and Ojantele of our local government area of Benue South Senatorial District of Benue State on the 1st and 7th of May 2025 respectively. Senate knows further with sadness that no less than 13 persons who were moving about their normal businesses were now done by these marauders. Saddened further that this is one in a series of attacks and kidnappings carried out by the herdsmen in communities in Benue South Senatorial District, living in their wakes loss of lives and wanton destruction of properties. More saddened that as of today, no single person out of the perpetrators of these heinous attacks has been apprehended. Accordingly, the Senate resolves, 1. Urge the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies to carry out a comprehensive investigation of these dastardly acts with a view to arresting the perpetrators. 2. Urge the federal government to mount comprehensive surveillance at the affected areas and other areas to proactively detect and deter such further attacks. 3. urge the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies as a matter of national emergency necessity to review the operational mechanism with a view to be more proactive. And lastly, request the National Emergency Management Agency to immediately mobilize relief materials to those many persons displaced by these recent attacks in the Chori and Itapa communities. And finally, request the Senate to observe a minute silence in honor of the deceased persons. I so move, Mr. President.
So, try to serve